Guten Tag. This is the 9th and final lesson of the Secret of the German Language, my approach to teaching the genders and cases in a hopefully simple and easy way. Hey, it's a difficult subject, what can I say? We'll do the best we can with this, alright? So, hope you've been keeping up with all these. For our last lesson, we're going to learn one last set of prepositions here. If you're taking notes, you ought to write this down. Anstatt, trotz, während, wegen, genitive will be taken. Anstatt, trotz, während, wegen, genitive will be taken. So, anstatt is instead of, okay? A lot of times anstatt is simply shortened to statt. You'll hear Germans say that a lot, just statt. In fact, I think Germans say statt almost exclusively. I hardly ever hear anstatt at least in spoken German. So you might even want to just say statt, but it's okay. Anstatt, trotz is in spite of, während is during, wegen is because of. So anstatt, trotz, während, wegen, genitive will be taken. I'm going to move on. If you're still taking notes, you can pause the video. But I'll bet you can figure it out, that if you have those four prepositions, whatever comes after it is going to automatically be in this genitive case here. Okay? So that's how it works. And I think now that you know this, it should be almost easy, or at least easier. So, the boy is singing instead of his mother. So, the mother's not singing, it's the boy that's singing instead of his mother. Alright? So, I have this statt here. Statt is instead of, okay? And statt just automatically drops you into this genitive right here, just automatically. So, Mutter is obviously feminine. That's where I'm getting this R from. Statt seiner Mutter. He's singing instead of his mother. Okay? So, how about this one? I'm learning something, well, despite my teachers. Okay? Despite is trotz, and then teachers is plural. Trotz, again, anstatt, trotz, während, wegen, genitive will be taken. So we have to be in the genitive. And teachers, well, that's easy. That is plural, quite obviously. So, trotz meiner Lehrer. Now, this actually leads me to an interesting little thing. You see Lehrer, and Lehrer is one of those nouns in German that has the same form in the singular as it does in the plural. Right? So, ein Lehrer, zwei Lehrer, right? Ein Lehrer, zwei Lehrer, same exact word. And you may ask, well, how do we know if we see a Lehrer? How do we know if it's singular or plural? Here's the trick. It's all this other stuff that tells you. Okay? This R tells you Lehrer must be the plural. It's the R that tells you it. Okay? If Lehrer were singular, okay, he would be masculine, be here. It would have to be trotz meines Lehrers. Trotz meines Lehrers. That would be the singular. Okay? So, that's how you could tell that a word like Lehrer, or many other words that are the same in singular and plural, whether it is singular or plural. Okay? How about this one? Sabine and Brigitte talk during recess. Okay? During is während, and a recess is a Pause. Pause ends with an E. Okay? So Pause. And recess is going to be feminine then. And this während kicks us down to the genitive. So, während der Pause. A phrase my students learned already. Während der Pause. Are we getting there? Great. How about this one? Oh, because of that cake, now I'm fat. Alright? So, cake is Kuchen, that's masculine. I should have asked you to guess on that one, but cake is masculine. And wegen is genitive. So, wegen is because of. And that puts us here with the S and the other S. So, wegen des Kuchens. Wegen des Kuchens. Wegen des Kuchens. By the way, remember, it's just an S when a word like Kuchen is 2 syllables or more. If it was 1 syllable, then it'd be ES, but more than 1 syllable, just an S. Wegen des Kuchens bin ich jetzt dick. Right? It's all the cake's fault, not my own. Alright. Let's see. finally, and we're nearly done with all these lessons here, a number of these prepositions are commonly contracted with certain articles. My students often ask me, Mr. Miller, are there contractions in German like don't or can't or something like that? The answer is yes, but they're completely different contractions, and they work completely differently. So it's a whole other set of contractions. So yes, German contracts their words, but completely differently from English. So if you're writing notes, you may want to write these common contractions, and we'll take a guess at these. Okay? We have zum. Zum is a contraction of zu dem. Zur is zu der. Im is in dem. Ins is in das. Okay? Fürs is für das. Von is von dem. Beim is bei dem. Aufs is auf das. Ans is an das. And let me pull that back here. Okay? So if you want to write these, now these are not, this is not an exhaustive list of all of the contractions, but those are some reasonably common ones that you will come across in German. And some of these are super common, like zum and zur and im, ins, fürs. Yeah, a lot of those are fairly common. So these ones you're going to hear all the time, and contracting these are very, very common in German. It's basically whenever you would say in das, most Germans say ins. Yeah. So, ich gehe ins Geschäft. Ins. Ich gehe ins Geschäft. In das Geschäft. Many Germans don't say in das. Just not common. If you're still copying, pause the video, but I'm going to move on. So, I go to the school. You could say, ich gehe zu der Schule. By the way, I'm going to say that many Germans don't exactly phrase it this way. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. So, zu is a dative, that's true. So, take the dative, it is true. Schule is feminine, that's why I have the R there. So far I have zu der Schule. But many would say zur Schule. Okay, ich gehe zur Schule instead of zu der. Actually, with going to school, most Germans say I go into the school, which would be ich gehe in die Schule. But that's okay. This at least practices that. Okay? And here's our final tip here. Days, months, seasons, and most weather-related nouns are masculine. Okay? So, nouns that, so days like Montag, Dienstag, okay, months, Januar, Februar, seasons, Frühling, Sommer, most weather-related nouns, Schnee, Regen, etc. Those are masculine. Nouns that end in IK, like Grammatik, okay, are feminine. So there's one to remember. Okay, and the best yet. Es ist kein Meister vom Himmel gefallen. This is a German expression. I wonder if you could figure out what this means here. There is no master that has fallen out of the sky or fallen out of heaven. In other words, masters don't just come out of thin air. It takes work to be a master, and it takes a lot of work to get the secret of the German language. This is difficult. I hope what I've done over these 9 lessons has made it maybe a little bit easier, or at least something you can grasp now, and then it's going to take practice to master them. Listen, at the time I'm making this video, I've been speaking German for now 30 years, and I still make loads of mistakes. And I mean loads of mistakes with this stuff. I really do. And I've even heard native Germans who are very educated make some mistakes with this. They don't make that many mistakes, but I have heard some. I really have. So not every German gets this right too. So don't worry, do your best. Ask your teacher if you need help. See if the chart and all of that helps you out. And really, if you make a mistake here and there, in my opinion, as long as you're communicating, with the German. Many Germans are pretty forgiving if you say Dane instead of Dame. You know, they're just gonna, in fact, if you're saying it fast, they won't even hear the Dane versus Dame. It'll just glide over, and it's not even gonna make a big deal. So don't worry too much about this, but hopefully this has helped, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment on the comment section below. So, auf Wiedersehen.